This is Charles with Safe Home Consulting again. You can visit us online at safehomeconsulting.com or come into the shop at 8722 East 41st Street. Today I want to talk about some more Benchmade knives. One of the things I want to talk about is purchasing a Benchmade as a gift for somebody else. Knives are a fairly personal thing. Different people have different ideas on what they like to carry, and a lot of that depends on what they're going to use it for. When you're purchasing a knife for somebody else, if you can get an idea of what other knives they have, you can get an idea what size knife they like, how they dress, if they're more business casual, more denim, more working on the farm kind of thing, then they generally go with a different kind of knife. I like a 940 a lot. I've used this 940 for many years and it shows it. It's been a good knife for me, but the reason I like it is its size. I carry this one every day. It gets in my pocket when I get dressed in the morning, but it fits in my pocket real well. I put my hand in my pocket a lot for getting change and things like that out. So my hand goes in my pocket a lot. A small, thin knife, small in this direction and thin, works better because I put my hand in my pocket a lot. For a more utility knife, I would generally use something different. I used to do a different job. A bigger knife just was more applicable. For what I do now, I get a lot of utility out of the 940. The blade design is long enough that you can do a lot with it. It's thin enough you can do a lot with it. I like the clip that's on it. 940s have been in the Benchmade lineup for a very long time. The axis lock is one of the benefits to the 940. You can open it with one hand, you can close it with one hand. It's also legal in every state and as fast as a reflex or an auto. The 940 has been very popular. It's not very big and it's not very bulky. And again, different people have different things that they like about a knife. If they have large hands, generally a larger knife is something that they're going to appeal to them more. Some women like the pretty colors. What I found with women in pink is they like it or they hate it. It's either a wonderful thing or something they don't like at all. The blue is easy to find. People are getting one for somebody who's younger in their teens, something like that. A blue one works well because if they drop it, set it down, things like that, it's a lot easier for them to find. Some mechanics like the brighter colors. They set it down when they're cutting wire and that type of thing. A brighter color is easier to find in a dark engine, for example. There are those who like the larger handles. It's thicker, it's bigger, it fits in a large hand better. You can still get the axis lock, it's still just as fast. And you can get these larger ones in multiple colors as well. Some folks prefer a reflex. Reflexes will generally just a small push on the stud on the blade handle and it'll open up very easy. Reflexes also have a lock, which will lock it open or close, prevent it from opening in somebody's pocket. Reflexes are very popular. Business casual, something that's tailored a little bit nicer, something that's smooth on the edges. A really coarse handle tends to wear on clothing more. Business casual, the clothing is thinner, it's a finer thread, so a coarser scale handle will wear on the clothing more, show more wear marks on it. On denim or canvas, that type of material, it's not as big of a deal. The very thin, very small is also appealing to a lot of folks who carry one every day even though they're in business casual attire. A thin blade, where they're going to open boxes with it predominantly. They're going to open letters, envelopes, that type of thing. So a small, thin blade is generally more appealing to them for an everyday carry because of what they do for a living. Some people prefer a fixed blade. The nice thing about these is the way the sheath is, it's worn on a belt this way, so it doesn't poke you and prod you and that type of thing. These make a wonderful skinning knife. It's serrations down on the tip of the blade, so when you're skinning, you can get in there and do work a lot easier. They will come with you can get it with a different scale handle and a Kydex sheath also. As you're choosing a knife for somebody, picking one that, if it's going to be an everyday carry knife, try and match it to what they do for a living. What do they do every day? Do they cut a lot of rope? Do they wear mostly denim? Do they wear canvas? How do they dress? How do they carry themselves during the day? And they're going to want a knife that's more appealing in that direction. Again, if they're in business attire, then a more refined knife will be more appealing to them than a bright carry type knife. Most people in the business world don't want to advertise that they're carrying a knife. and makes some people uncomfortable. So something smaller, something that'll fit in their pocket that doesn't get in the way of things is more appealing. Hunters, guys who do a lot of outdoor activity, they prefer something that they can use outdoors. The 162 has been very popular. The handle has grommets in it that are made out of titanium. You can use it for making a bow fire. The handle's wide enough that if you're carving on wood to get kindling for a fire, it wears better in your hand because it's wider. A very narrow handle, as you're cutting very hard or chopping through wood, is going to be harder on your hand while you're doing that. So having a wider handle makes that a lot more comfortable when you're really working it. This one also works as a skinner for working on animals and that type of thing. It's a very versatile knife. You can use it at a camp for cutting tomatoes. You can use it for making kindling. You can get it with a leather sheath. They have another model that has a kydex sheath to it. The nice sheath, very well made. One thing I've noticed for the hunter, in the wintertime when there's a lot of snow and they're gutting an animal, gets wet, gets bloody, that type of thing, if it's very cold out, when it's wet and goes in the sheath, it can also freeze into the sheath and make it a lot more challenging to pull out of the sheath. Something to take into consideration. The leather one has a plastic liner in it that helps it stay open, but doesn't fit the blade as tight. So if you have a lot of snow and there's blood on it from working on an animal, it won't freeze into the sheath as much. Which one you choose for somebody, in part, is you have to know a little bit about that person. Make the choice that is best for them. This again, Charles with Safe Home Consulting. Come visit us at safehomeconsulting.com.